I've been practicing medicine long enough to watch 3 different men ignore the exact same warning signs about their sleep. All 3 of them walked into my office eventually with testosterone levels so catastrophically low that I made the lab run the tests a second time because I didn't believe the numbers. Every single one of those cases was completely preventable. So let me be brutally clear from the start. Sleep is not some optional bonus feature in your health routine. It's not something you can outsmart with supplements or magically fix by sleeping till noon on Saturday. Your hormones, especially testosterone, are either built or destroyed by what happens during those 7 to 8 hours you spend unconscious every night. And if you think you're somehow getting away with 5 hours a night just because you feel fine, let me stop you right there. You're not getting away with anything. Your body has simply stopped sending you the warning signal. It's already failing. You just don't feel it yet. Here's the first thing most people completely misunderstand. Sleep is not an off switch. You don't power down at night like a laptop entering sleep mode. Your brain doesn't shut off. Your metabolism doesn't pause and wait politely for morning. What actually happens is far more remarkable. The kingdom of the vagus nerve takes over. During the day, your sympathetic nervous system runs the entire show. It keeps you alert, reactive, primed to move and respond. At night, the parasympathetic system seizes control. The vagus nerve, often called the rest and digest nerve, becomes the dominant governing force in your body. And under its rule, your brain gets to work in ways it simply cannot during waking hours. It processes the day's avalanche of information. It sends signals to your organs. There are even emerging theories suggesting your brain receives data transmissions from your gut microbiome at night and uses that intelligence to recalibrate your entire biological system. What we know for absolute certain, what the science has proven beyond any reasonable doubt, is this. Your hormone levels are rebuilt during sleep. Testosterone, growth hormone, melatonin, leptin, ghrelin. Every single one of them hinges entirely on how well and how long you sleep. There's an entire medical specialty built around this reality. It's called sleep medicine. The doctors are known as sleep specialists or somnologists. They spend their entire careers helping people fix what goes catastrophically wrong during those nighttime hours. Insomnia, hypersomnia, sleep apnea, fragmented sleep. The list stretches on. And today we're going to examine it through the lens most doctors will never discuss openly with you. What sleep does to your testosterone, your fertility, and your longevity. When you fall asleep under the right conditions, your body enters what's called slow-wave sleep. This is deep, genuinely restorative sleep. It lasts roughly 60 to 90 minutes, your heart rate drops. Your stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, fall to their absolute lowest levels of the entire day. You are in maximum recovery mode. Then comes REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. This is the phase where your brain becomes more active again. Your stress hormones tick back up slightly, and you become much easier to wake. You've probably noticed this pattern in your own life. Sometimes you wake up naturally maybe 10 minutes before your alarm goes off, and you feel absolutely incredible. Clear-headed, energized, genuinely ready to attack the day. Other mornings, your alarm goes off after what should be a full 8 hours, and you feel like you've been hit by a cement truck. What's the difference? Simple. You woke up during slow-wave sleep that second time. Your body wasn't ready. Your cortisol hadn't spiked yet to prepare you for waking. You were violently torn out of deep recovery and thrown into the day, and it shows in every aspect of how you feel. There are even devices now that track your sleep cycles in real time and wake you gently during REM, when your body is naturally prepared to transition into wakefulness. I'm not saying you need to run out and buy one, but I am saying this. If you can wake up without an alarm clock, your body will choose the right moment every single time. It knows. You just have to let it do its job. Now here's where this gets deadly serious. If you go to bed on a full stomach, especially after eating carbohydrates, your blood sugar spikes hard. That spike directly suppresses growth hormone. Growth hormone is released almost exclusive, but only if your insulin levels are low. If you're lying there digesting a late-night meal, you're actively shutting down one of the most important repair processes your body has access to. Yes, growth hormone production drops as you age. That's unavoidable. But even in your 40s, you still produce meaningful amounts, and you desperately need every bit of it you can get. So if you're eating within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime, you're literally leaving critical hormones on the table. Then there's melatonin. This isn't just some over-the-counter sleep aid you grab at the pharmacy. Melatonin is a longevity molecule. It's one of the most powerful tools in the entire anti-aging medicine arsenal. It reduces cancer risk. It protects your brain from neurodegeneration. It regulates your mood and your entire circadian rhythm. But your body will absolutely not produce it if you sleep with the lights on. Even a tiny amount of light, like the faint glow from a street lamp filtering through your curtains, or the standby LED on your television, penetrates your eyelids and signals your brain that it's still daytime. Your melatonin production plummets. And here's the real kicker. If you start taking melatonin supplements to compensate, your body stops making its own completely. It's called negative feedback inhibition. So unless you're willing to take melatonin every single night for the rest of your life, the far better move is to fix your sleep environment now. That means blackout curtains. A sleep mask if you absolutely have to. No screens for at least an hour before bed. And if you work night shifts or you're going to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning because of your schedule, your melatonin levels are going to suffer no matter what you do. Your circadian rhythm doesn't care about your work obligations or your social life. It cares about the sun. Period. Here's something else most men will never bring up with their doctor, because they think it's just normal aging. If you're waking up 2 or 3 times every night to urinate, that is not normal. It might be a sign of an enlarged prostate. It might be a deeper hormonal issue. But either way, every single time you wake up, you're fragmenting your sleep architecture. You're cutting into your REM cycles. You're spiking your cortisol at the exact wrong time. And you're making the underlying problem progressively worse. This is exactly why I always tell my patients, your health is not a random list of isolated symptoms you treat one at a time. It's a system. It's interconnected. And in our BioCheck program, where we conduct comprehensive remote health assessments with direct specialist consultations, we look at everything together as one unified picture. Sleep, hormones, metabolic markers, prostate health, cardiovascular function, because you simply cannot fix one without understanding how it affects all the others. There's a link to that program in the description if you want to actually get answers instead of guesses. Let me tell you about a patient I saw just a few months ago. He's a dentist, mid-40s, sharp guy. Came to me saying he'd been struggling for 6 straight months with crushing low energy, brain fog, 0 sex drive. I pulled up his labs, and they were perfect. Testosterone was in the high normal range. Everything else looked textbook. So I asked him a simple question. When exactly? Did you have this blood work done? He said, right after I got back from vacation. That was the tell. That's when I knew. I told him to go back to work for 2 or 3 weeks, and then retest everything. He did. And his testosterone had dropped 30%. Why? Because on vacation, he actually slept. He woke up naturally. He wasn't chronically stressed. His cortisol was low, and his sleep was uninterrupted for the first time in months. Back in the city, working 12-hour days, going to bed at midnight, waking up to a screaming alarm at 6 in the morning, his body simply couldn't keep up. It was breaking down in real time. Sleep is the foundation. If you don't have that locked down, I don't care how many supplements you take, how much testosterone replacement you do, how many biohacking protocols you follow. None of it is going to get you where you need to be. You're building a house on sand. So what's the right way to sleep? Let me break it down, step by step. First, sleep on an empty stomach. No food for at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Definitely no carbohydrates. None. Second, sleep in. Complete darkness. Blackout curtains. No LEDs anywhere. No phone charging on your nightstand with the screen glowing at you all night. Third, keep your bedroom cool. The ideal temperature for deep sleep is 64 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Your body needs to cool down at night. That drop in core temperature is how it knows it's time to produce melatonin and enter deep restorative sleep. If your bedroom stays the same temperature all day and all night, your circadian rhythm gets confused and your sleep quality suffers massively. One trick I tell patients all the time: take a hot bath before bed. Sit in it for 15 or 20 minutes. Add some Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate, to help your muscles relax. Then get out and let your body cool down naturally. The sudden drop in core temperature will trigger a melatonin surge and make it dramatically easier to fall asleep. It's one of the oldest sleep hacks in the book, and it works better than most of the pills people are taking. Fourth, sleep in silence. I know a lot of you like to fall asleep with the TV on, or with rain sounds or white noise playing in the background. I get it. I understand the appeal. But here's the problem. Your brain doesn't fully rest when there's ambient noise present. Even if you're not consciously hearing it, your auditory cortex is still processing it. That keeps you locked in lighter stages of sleep and prevents you from cycling into the deep, restorative phases you actually need to recover. And this isn't just about the TV or a noise machine. If you live in a city, you're dealing with relentless background noise pollution. The acceptable level of ambient noise for healthy sleep is around 20 to 30 decibels. In most major cities across the United States, the baseline is 50 to 60 decibels. You don't even notice it anymore, but your nervous system does. And over time, that chronic noise exposure increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, and even certain cancers. There are longitudinal studies showing that children who grow up near airports have measurably lower cognition than their peers in quieter areas. The noise doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be jarring. It just has to be constant. That's enough to do the damage. If you can't move to the countryside tomorrow, use earplugs. Yes, you might sleep through your alarm. That's a trade-off you have to consider. But if the alternative is years of fragmented sleep, elevated cortisol, and a slow march toward chronic disease, I'd take the earplugs every time. Now let me hit you with something genuinely uncomfortable. You cannot catch up on sleep. A lot of guys think they can coast on 5 hours a night during the week and then somehow recover by sleeping 12 hours on Saturday. It doesn't work that way. The damage done by chronic sleep deprivation, the hormonal disruption, the metabolic dysfunction, the cognitive decline cannot be erased with one long weekend nap. It doesn't reset. It doesn't balance out. Your body doesn't bank sleep like a savings account. It needs consistency. It needs rhythm. I used to think differently. Early in my training, I genuinely believed that as long as you got the total hours eventually, your body would adapt and recover. Then I looked at the data. I saw it play out in my own patients over and over. The guys who slept poorly during the week and tried desperately to make up for it on weekends still had low testosterone, high cortisol, poor insulin sensitivity, and terrible lipid profiles. The ones who slept 7 to 8 hours every single night, even if their total weekly sleep time was roughly the same, had dramatically better outcomes across every marker we measured. I was wrong, and I changed how I counsel my patients because of it. That's what the evidence does. It humbles you. Here's another thing that'll surprise you. Sleeping with a partner can genuinely hurt your sleep quality. I'm not saying you should kick your wife out of bed, but if she likes the room hot and you need it cold, if she wants to cuddle and you overheat easily, if she snores or tosses and turns all night, yeah, your sleep is going to suffer. Some couples who love each other deeply choose to sleep in separate rooms for exactly this reason, and their health improves dramatically because of it. There's no shame in prioritizing your sleep. Your testosterone depends on it. Your longevity depends on it. Your ability to think clearly, stay lean, build muscle, maintain a healthy sex drive, produce viable sperm. All of it starts with sleep. Everything flows from that foundation. And if you're one of those bodybuilders waking up at 2 in the morning to chug a protein shake because you're terrified of going catabolic, stop. You're destroying your sleep to chase marginal muscle gains. It's not worth it. Your growth hormone production, your testosterone, your actual recovery, all of that happens during uninterrupted sleep. You're shooting yourself in the foot and calling it optimization. There's a concept in medicine we sometimes refer to as the hour of death. It's around 4 or 5 in the morning. That's when the circadian rhythm shifts. Cortisol spikes hard. Your autonomic nervous system recalibrates. And that's when a disproportionate number of critically ill patients in ICUs around the world pass away. It's the most vulnerable time in the entire 24-hour cycle. Your body is under maximum physiological stress, even when you're perfectly healthy. That's how powerful your circadian rhythm is. That's how real this is. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 2 weeks, treat sleep like a prescription. Go to bed at the exact same time every night. Sleep in a dark, cool, quiet room. Don't eat for 3 hours before bed. Don't look at a screen for at least an hour before bed. Track how you feel. Track your energy levels. Track your mood. Track your morning erections if you're a man, because that's one of the most reliable markers of healthy testosterone and genuinely good sleep quality. And if you're still struggling after 2 weeks of doing this correctly, don't just accept it as your new normal. Get evaluated. Check your testosterone. Check your cortisol rhythm. Get a sleep study if you snore or wake up gasping for air. Find out what's actually going on inside your body instead of guessing. Because here's the truth. Most doctors will never say out loud. Your insurance company would rather you not know how much your terrible sleep is costing you. They'd rather keep you on medications for high blood pressure, diabetes, and low testosterone than help you fix the root cause. There's no money in telling you to sleep better. But there's an enormous amount of money in keeping you sick and dependent on prescriptions. I've seen this play out too many times in too many lives, and I'm done pretending it's not happening. I'm done being quiet about it. One last thing. If you found this helpful, share it. Send it to a friend who's always exhausted. Send it to your dad, who hasn't slept well in years. Send it to the guy at your gym who's doing everything right with his training and nutrition, except getting enough sleep. This isn't common knowledge, and it absolutely should be. Next time you see your doctor, don't just ask if your testosterone is normal. Ask for the exact number. Ask what it was last year. Ask if your sleep could be affecting it. That one question might change the entire trajectory of your health. And next week, I'm going to break down exactly where fitness stops being helpful and starts actively destroying your health. Because yes, you can absolutely exercise your way into serious hormonal dysfunction. Most trainers won't tell you that. I will. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it.